Hi Whovians, Harry here, and with season 2 of Doctor Who rapidly approaching, we got a second trailer release for this upcoming season, and this trailer was just amazing. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down all the hidden Easter eggs and details that you might have missed. But before we get into that, don't forget to subscribe, also leave a like and comment down below, and let's get in to the trailer. So, this trailer opens with the Doctor narrating, "There are forces beyond the universe," and of course we saw that in season 1 of Doctor Who, because this is a similar statement that the Doctor made in not only was used in the season 1 teaser trailer, but it was taken from the episode The Devil's Cord. So will we see more of the Toymakers Legions, because of course Maestro was part of the Toymakers Legions. But the Doctor goes on to say, "We think we're so clever," and that is a sentiment that his previous incarnation, the 14th Doctor, voiced in The Giggle when he was saying he thought he was so clever, but he accidentally released the Toymaker and now it's creating problems for him down the road. And he goes on to continue, "But we're like children." And this is a sentiment voiced by characters like the Doctor and aliens throughout the universe, that they think humans are like children, and the Doctor is echoing it, of course, in this trailer. And then, following that, there is a giant spider, followed by another giant skeleton-like creature, maybe a dinosaur, that is over the streets of London, with the Doctor in, like, this new costume looking up. He has a bowler hat on and a pinstripe suit. So a new costume for this Doctor. But why are there giant skeleton creatures just in the streets of London and the Doctor's fine just looking up at it? Is this another universe? Has time been distorted so there have always been skeletons? What's going on? And then we get another as equally cryptid scene, because we then get Kate Stewart walking through this kind of underground base and checking in on some sort of creature that must be under Unit HQ. So our unit, in Torchwood, they captured aliens and put them in cells. Have Unit done the same? And what creature is she checking up on? It seems to be this big hulking mass of a creature that will probably tie into the finale. And speaking of Unit, we get another Unit member. We see Mal. Yes, Mal Bush, companion to the 6th and 7th Doctors, in this kind of street, and and she's looking around panicking, and all whilst that's happening, houses are crumbling away behind her. So again, what's happening with that? But of course, Mal, we all know Mal, as I said, she's companion to the 6th and 7th Doctor, first appearing in the Trial of a Time Lord, and then, of course, when she left in, I think, Dragonfire, she then reappeared as a member of Unit in the 3rd 60th anniversary special, The Giggle, and she appeared again, of course, in season 1. So it's just great to see Mal there, but what's happening with her? Is she in danger while all these houses are crumbling around her? And of course, like we were just talking about old companions, we go from an old companion to a new one. Yes, we get a look at Belinda, a new look at Belinda Chandra, played by Varada Seyfo. And of course, Varada has already appeared in Doctor Who before. She played Mundy Flynn in Boom, and I will actually get to that a little bit later. But we see this kind of fun interaction of her and the Doctor, because after she hears that the Doctor is called the Doctor, she responds with, "Well, call me the nurse." So that's just funny that they have a kind of more banter, more sarcastic relationship than the Doctor and Ruby, which is something I'm looking forward to. A bit more tension between them, because the Doctor and Ruby just seemed they just seemed to get along all the time and it didn't feel real. But this one, this dynamic has already got me excited. But of course, last time we had a medical companion actually a nurse was Rory Williams in the 11th Doctor's era. And of course, Martha graduated to become a doctor herself, another medical companion from the first Russell T Davies era. And of course, on the topic of Monday, Flynn and Belinda, they actually acknowledged the fact in this trailer that Varada has appeared as a different character in season 1, of course being Monday Flynn, an Anglican Marine in the episode Boom, and they actually show a little snippet from the episode Boom. I don't know how they got that footage or whether that's just for the audience, but yeah, that appears, and the Doctor saying there is something connecting us. And then after that statement, Belinda can be heard saying, "I am not one of your adventures," which is a similar sentiment to what Claro echoed at the end of The Rings of Akaten, because they have both appeared before in previous stories, seemingly not connected to the main companion they're playing, and the Doctor obviously can't overlook this, but Belinda is taking the same stance that Clara is, that she is Belinda, she is not anything more. But we'll see. And then there's another fun interaction between the Doctor and Belinda, where she says to the Doctor, "You're Scooby-Doo," to which he replies, "Honey, I'm Valma." So that's just a fun interaction. I mean, I don't think I have to explain what Scooby-Doo is, but if I do, Scooby-Doo is a franchise, and it's basically about these 4 friends and a Great Dane who travel around in a van solving crimes, and of course Scooby-Doo is the dog, the Great Dane. And just on the topic of Valma, there was a Valma TV show featuring a black Valma, basically solving crimes, but I think he was just saying because Valma's always the clever one and the Doctor is the clever one as well. But then moving on past that, we get the Eurovision adjacent episode, the Interstellar Song Contest, co-hosted by Rylan Clark. Now, if you don't know who Rylan is, he is really popular in the UK. He's a popular broadcaster and television personality. But I don't know how he managed to be in space hosting the Interstellar Song Contest, because I imagine this takes place in space or the far future. But I don't know, maybe it's one of his descendants. And then we get a Catwoman next to him. And this is exactly the same costume that Doja Cat wore at the Met Gala in 2023. Yes, this isn't something created for Doctor Who. This is something an actual celebrity wore in a real-life event to a real-life, charity gala thing. And that is what kind of backwards world are we living in, where a Catwoman was not seen first in Doctor Who, but at the Met Gala. Yeah. But it looks like a fun episode either way. And of course, with the Interstellar Song Contest being kind of like Eurovision, this will probably be Doctor Who's second musical episode, of course, after season 1's The Devil's Chord. And then maybe in the Interstellar Song Contest crowd, or maybe in another one, we see Mrs. Flood, and she, of course, is the mysterious presence in season 1, and we'll find out who she is and what she's planning at the end of season 2. So I can't wait to see what's happening around her. But then, maybe in the crowd Mrs. Flood is in, is the theatre where Mr. Ring-a-Ding, which is the cartoon character, can be seen exiting out of the screen. And yeah, this is terrifying because, well, just the way he climbs out the screen and the biopsy that we had for his backstory, I predict that this is going to be a terrifying episode, and I really want it to be, because that's what season 1 was missing, a bit of darkness. But Mr. Ring-a-Ding will be voiced by Alan Cumming, who played King James I in the Series 11 episode The Witchfinders. So that's cool that he is coming back in just a voice role. I can't wait to see what he brings to this cartoon character. And then, moving on past that, the Doctor notices some missing posters, with one that looks to be for Omo Esewa. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, and I looked up, I tried to look it up, but I couldn't see anything to do with Doctor Who, and I spent too much time looking up the numbers below as well for anything to do with Doctor Who, and I couldn't find anything to do with Doctor Who for that, so maybe it's just some random numbers and a random name. But then there is someone afterwards telling the Doctor to tell a story. And just something to bring up, Mrs. Flood noted about the Doctor's story at the end of season 1. So is this connected, this man telling the Doctor to tell them a story? Are they connected to Mrs. Flood? Or is this like a kind of Rings of Akaten situation where to basically defeat the creature of this episode, the monster of this episode, he has to tell them all about his life and kind of burn them out? And then, moving past the Doctor, we go back to Earth, and we see the first appearance of Ruby in this trailer. And Ruby is with her new boyfriend for this series, and this scene is just dark and terrifying as well. It seems to be a much darker series than season 1, and I am all for it, because Ruby looks almost catatonic in this trailer. So, like, just completely blank, like she is not even there, as she says, Ruby states to her boyfriend that it wants you scared, and Ruby's boyfriend begins to question it, and she goes on to say, because it likes the taste, as a claw reaches out from behind Ruby's boyfriend, like it is ready to snatch him. And just the way Ruby looks, is this the real Ruby? Or is this a nightmare? Are we getting the return of the Nightmare Man from the Sarah Jane Adventures? I would love if he come back, because I thought we were going to get that with Can You Hear Me? I think from series 12, and that would have been perfect for the Nightmare Man. But is he coming back in this episode? I mean, it's giving like nightmarish vibes, and the way that Ruby is looking, it just looks like it could be a nightmare situation. And then we see a man being shot and turned to dust. Now, I've seen a lot of people speculate it was the Daleks, because it goes into a skeleton before they're turned into dust. But it's a bit of a different light, and also Daleks don't disintegrate their opponents after the skeleton is shown. Like, bodies are left when the Daleks are around. So I don't think the Daleks are returning. And also, like, with all the shots of a Skaro type space, I don't think it is Skaro. I don't think the Daleks are returning, at least in the episode that this is from. But I guess we'll say. And then the Doctor can be seen falling or maybe flying, with loads of other people also falling around him as well. So I don't know whether this is... I would say that this probably takes place in space, but I don't know whether this is like no gravity or they're plummeting somewhere. But how will the Doctor get out of that situation? And over this scene, we see the Doctor promising that he will keep Belinda safe, much like how he promised Carla that he would keep Ruby safe, as seen in the episode Rogue. And then, just after that, we see the Doctor having to step away from Belinda, maybe going through like this kind of force field thing, and maybe it's the same force field that surrounded a spaceship that is seen like right by this scene. So maybe there's a lot of force fields, and the Doctor has to like kind of step in to stop it, and he has to like kind of leave Belinda on her own to fend for herself while he hopefully stops whatever creature it is and saves the day, and then makes her way back to her. And then, like I mentioned at the start of this trailer, we get a better look at the giant spider that we saw. And we've actually seen giant spiders before in Planet of the Spiders back in season 11 of Classic Who, which was the third Doctor's regeneration story. He regenerated at the end of that serial, and of course we also saw giant spiders in the episode Arachnids in the UK back in Jodie Whittaker's era, in series 11. And on this giant spider, it looks sort of mechanical, and also, like, I think I've seen people speculate is the barbershop we've seen the Doctor hanging in it earlier in this trailer. So I don't know why a giant spider would have a barbershop on it, but hey, it's Doctor Who. If any show can pull it off, it's Doctor Who. And then the trailer ends with Belinda looking over an orange glowing door, and she looks back as the Doctor says over this, "I will take you home. That is a promise." And the Doctor's promises haven't always worked out. I mean, it took the first Doctor 2 seasons to just take Ian and Barbara home, and it seems like the TARDIS doesn't want to return home because the Doctor says that this might be the long way round when Belinda says, "You need to take me home." And the long way round is, of course, a callback to past Doctor Who stories, like when the 11th Doctor said he is going home, the long way round in the Day of the Doctor. So, this trailer has got me so hyped for Doctor Who Season 2, and we now know that Season 2 will air on April 12th of course, this year. And April 12th, 1961 was actually the date that Yuri Gagarin, hopefully I pronounced that right, the Russian man, entered space and did one orbit of Earth, the first person to do it. So actually, this date kind of fits with Doctor Who because it's all about a spaceman going up into space and seeing Earth from a different view. And Doctor Who will first air on BBC iPlayer in the UK and, of course, on Disney Plus globally. But in the UK, it will air at 8 AM. So, again, we're past midnight releases, which is good. But I don't know why they just, if it's airing at 8, why not just put it on the TV? You did it for the 60th anniversary specials. You did it for the church on Ruby Road. You did it for Joy to the World. And no one else in the world had a problem with that. Why can't you make it like just normal television? Because families sit down. Not every family will be able to sit down at 8 AM on a Saturday and watch it. So you're still having to deal with spoilers the whole day until you can watch it on the TV. It's just mind-boggling to me that they don't just be like, yeah, we're just going to put it on TV and make it so every, at least UK family, because the UK viewers are still the ones paying for it. We pay the TV licenses. Yes, I know Americans, Australians, Germans, French, everyone wants to watch Doctor Who that is a Doctor Who fan at a good time for them. But you haven't paid for it since the 60th started. And then, even then, you could be on someone else's plan. You could have used the free trial. Yeah. I mean, I digress, okay? I am just so excited that Doctor Who is back. This trailer has made me excited. And of course, I am just glad that we are getting some Doctor Who back. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. Are you excited for Season 2? What did you think of this trailer? And also, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, also subscribe, and share it out. We will see you in the next one.